So, yeah, thanks, Stan and Steve, for coming on. It's good to, I enjoy doing these sorts of things just to have a good chat and so that other people who are potentially looking at joining James can sort of talk to some real life people and um, I guess find out a bit more of the journey and um, see that people can actually make it through and do really well. So, Steve, would you mind just sort of, I guess, introduce yourself, explain where you are, um, and what made you look at a life change? Because it's a pretty major change that you've made.
It is, yeah. So I'm Steve Roby, and I'm based at Upper Coomera on the Gold Coast. What made me decide to do it is I was working long hours in the motor vehicle industry, and I wasn't getting the rewards for the hours I was putting in, the effort I was putting in. I just felt like I was a number the whole time. And I just wanted to go out, and I thought to myself, if I put in those amount of hours for myself, anything's possible money wise. So yeah, that's what made me jump into it, and the lifestyle also, to have more time at home and more time to myself was a big factor, along with the fitness element as well, because I like to stay active, but the whole body doesn't allow me to play sports anymore. So this is a good way to stay active as well. And you're in a different location every hour or however long the job may be. So, when I was in the office running all the businesses that I ran, I was in the same office for 10, 12 hours a day. You barely get outside. So they've been the major factors for me.
Right. Okay. And for yourself, Sam, you want to introduce, you're a bit closer to heaven up in paradise in North Queensland. And what did you used to do before, James? What made you look at a life change?
Hi, my name is Sam Teresi. I'm based in Mareeba, far north Queensland. Previously panel beater by trade, and then had enough of that. Went on to do some farming, have an extensive farming background, grew up on a cane farm. So went on to manage a couple of farms and ended up in a local pack shed, which in turn ended up working 70 to 80 hours a week. So the work-life balance wasn't quite there. So we started looking for other things, businesses, whatever we were looking for. We ended up finding James. We did look at starting a business of our own, but James Home Services had it all. It had the quoting, the computer systems, the marketing. So it was a no-brainer for us. I wanted to look for something that could swing that work-life balance back into my favour, because being your own boss too was a draw card, a very big draw card. So it was a no-brainer in the end of the day.
And for you, Sam, have you enjoyed the change?
Absolutely loved it, and still loving it. So being your own boss, calling your own shots, managing your own hours, your own holidays. You haven't got a boss looking over your shoulder, telling you what to do, how to do, when to do, what not to do, all that sort of stuff. I've had a lot of good bosses in the past, but this trumps the lot.
Yeah, awesome. And how about for you, Steve? How are you finding it so far?
Yeah, I find it great. I've actually I've really enjoyed the time that I've had to myself, and that's not by design. That was just through the drought that we had and winter. So that aspect of it's been really good. And I also, exactly the same as Sam, I do enjoy the autonomy of it, and no micromanagement. So you can just like you say, you can control your own hours. You set your own schedule, what you want to work to. So yeah, that part of it, I'm so glad I did it.
Yeah. One of the questions I often get asked, so sort of in the role that I have, is as you guys know, is meeting new people. So both of you actually, when you inquired, the inquiries came to me. We met, walked through the journey. I get a lot of common questions from people, and one of them is, where do the jobs sort of come from? And I find there's this perception that often, if I have my own business, if I'm in a franchise, I can just sit at home and they're just going to send me the jobs and I just go do the jobs. What's your experience? What's reality? How do you get your jobs? You go for it, Sam.
So when you join James, you get trained up in the 51 ways of marketing. So you basically got to put yourself out on the front line, go and meet people, go and talk to businesses. There's obviously one way or a couple of ways of getting your name out there. Business knock and drops, leaflet drops. Basically get your name out there, and what you put into it, you will definitely get out of it. So the James system is proven, tried and tested, and I'm pretty sure Steve will say the same thing. It works. What you put into it, you will get out of it. With calls coming in, calls are always coming in. In my patch, it's a big thing is word of mouth, your reputation around town. It works pretty good.
Yeah. So for you, Steve, what sort of things did you have to do to get the jobs rolling? I mean, yes, James does all this advertising when you kick off, but for you, what sort of activities have you found really work for you?
I've found the social media and the Google business page to be the best by far. So especially Facebook. So we're on all the community pages, even outside of my area. So we're on those, and we post every single week on there. And then, I'll go on and put a comment and bump it as well the next day or whatever that may be. So we try to change the picture every week as well. And then also with the Google profile, I try to do 2 a week. I put videos on there, which is proving quite difficult at the moment because my GoPro's playing up, but I put some videos on there. I've always put a lot of photos before and afters, and also trying to get reviews. Reviews are a big thing as well. In actual fact, I've been a little bit slack on that of late and haven't asked for any, which I'm going to this afternoon. But yeah, I think if you get some good reviews on there, people do go off that. And I also find once you get that original conversation with the owner or with the customer, you've got to do what you say you're going to do. So if you say you're going to be there at 9, you've got to be there at 9.
Absolutely correct.
And I also find, as I approach, I'm walking up and trying to find something that I can talk about with the customer to make it not like just me turning up trying to win your money. So if they got a dog, I'll go and pat the dog. Oh, I love dogs, which I do love dogs. And, I try and come across really friendly to the start. And I find that has worked wonders for me also.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that often so you guys both have a lawn and garden business. One of the things I find with often in lawn and garden guys are really new to or not computer gurus. Do either of you profess to be computer gurus?
Hell no.
I won't say a guru, but I've worked with computers the last 20 years and had to teach myself how to use them. So yeah, it's all the program that we have that is part of James has been pretty easy for me. That's not been a struggle whatsoever.
Great. And I know, Sam, when we went through when you were looking first at the business, that was one of your big concerns. How have you found it, learning to use the computer?
It was definitely a big concern of mine heading into starting your own business. Previous experience with computers was next to nothing. But with talking to Justin and a few of the other guys about the computer system, Butler, how it interlinks with Xero, the accounting package, it is so user-friendly. And I can 100% attest to being able to navigate through Butler quite easily, invoicing, quoting, punching in all the information as you go, setting up a quote. It is very user friendly. That's the only way I could really explain it. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so we've talked about lots of good stuff, but what have you found tough, Steve? What's been for you one of the challenges?
I've been thinking a lot about this, and there's two things that come to mind of late. One is getting traction in my area, Upper Coomera. So looking at all my stats, predominantly my work is coming outside my area.
Yep.
So I'm not sure why, because I definitely don't do flyer drops and all that outside of my area. I do them all inside my area.
Yep.
But I do remember when I first started and I was walking the streets, I did Google lawn mowers in Upper Coomera, and Google come up with no results. And I thought, how good is this going to be? But then when I started doing the flyer drops, I passed like 10 trailers in the first 3 streets I went down. So, and they were all in Upper Coomera. So maybe there's a whole heap here that just don't advertise on Google. But yeah, I seem to, so that's a little bit of a concern of mine at the moment. I've got to come up with a way that I can get, and I'm quite active on the social media. And, you know, if someone in Upper Coomera is asking a question and I know the answer, I actually respond to them to get out there a little bit. And number two, which has come to light last Thursday in particular, was 38 degrees when I finished my last job at 5:30 p.m. And I've struggled with the heat. Like, I've had heat stroke a couple of times already.
Nice.
And
That's not nice.
I have found that to be a struggle, and that's with major hydration. Like, I have so much fluid and all that sort of stuff, and that's part of it. I expected it, but I didn't expect it to be as hard as that, and it hasn't been to this point. So they're the two things. But the hydration thing, that's not a real concern because it's going to happen on the hot days. But the concerning one is getting traction in my area of Upper Coomera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve, when did you start your business?
February 2022. Yeah, so I'm almost
23?
23.
23?
23, sorry, yeah, 23.
February 23 this year.
Yeah.
So we are now, just for the sake of those watching, it's now start of December. So that's sort of 10 months. Just a bit of what I've observed over a decade or more doing this is when you've started new, and you've particularly started through the winter, this is, you know, you're coming into your first spring, summer, which is when you pick up a lot of customers.
Yeah.
It's you will find, I think, Steve, that what you've experienced is fairly normal because the advertising is broad, and so you've got a mass number of people who are seeing stuff and getting inquiry. But as your business becomes more and more known locally, as people need service, you will find naturally more and more of your inquiry will start to come from where you are, because they see your trailer every day. They see you driving around. They see you on Facebook. They see you on Google. All that, that's that frequency. We talk in marketing about recency and frequency. So you will naturally find your customer, you know, like as we talk about often in coaching, you like to nest so that you're not losing time to travel. I think you'll find as we go.
I definitely need to try and figure that out because I am travelling some distances at the moment, and the traffic on the Gold Coast is horrendous. So it's probably almost getting to a Sydney level, I would say. So it does take ages to go. And I always try to plan, okay, I'll go away from the school zones first and all those things, but it just doesn't matter anymore on the Gold Coast. It's that busy all day. So you're bound to get caught up somewhere. But yeah.
Yeah. So for you, Sam, when did you join James?
We joined James September 22.
You're just over a year?
Yeah, so I think it's month 16 we're into.
And do you find most of your inquiry now is coming from in area?
Definitely in area, yeah. So I cover sort of 2 areas, Mareeba, Tolga. So it's a broad sort of range of inquiry, you know. Like I get a lot of private inquiry. I get a lot of NDIS inquiry, care provider inquiries.
Yep.
And I recognised earlier on in our business that to survive through winter, I wanted to target a lot of care provider work because it is regular.
Yeah.
And through winter, like probably experienced a little drop off, but not a great drop off. So it kept us constant through winter. They just want you to keep turning up.
Yeah.
And for me, that's the easiest part of the business, is to turn up. If you say you're going to turn up, and the rest flows. You give them 5-star service, you give them a little bit more for their money, stay for a chat, 10 minutes if you can afford it. They love it. So it's not just about mowing, it's about engaging with the customer, give them that 5-star gold medal service.
So that's sort of been one of your strategies to get through winter, the slower months, is the age.
Hell yeah. It and it worked well. They stayed on board. A few of them went to 4 weekly instead of fortnightly. Now some of them are starting to come back to fortnightly. So it's starting to, I reckon in the next few weeks leading into the new year, it's going to amp up big time. I'm still not too sure how I'm going to handle the load, because there's a little bit more there, but I'll get through. And like Steve said, the heat at the moment is crazy. But
you really got to look after yourself, don't you?
Yeah, stay hydrated. I've got them cooler neckties that I throw on. They work well. So.
Lots of trying to do right on work more than push mow. Definitely helps. So Steve, you raised a really good point. So your area's basically just been through a drought. And I think you've experienced the first couple of rains. So I guess the other side of the equation, we've talked about winter and things like that. How do you handle the rain? Is it a problem? How do you feel about rain in your business?
I actually look at the positive of it, which is weird. And I can only look at the positive at the moment because we haven't had 3 weeks of it in a row. But because it's so hot and so muggy when you're out there doing the big days, if I get a rain day, I'm thanking the heavens because I get to have a day off to recover. So that'll be a day where you'll do some Google or some Facebook updates or whatever the case may be. I tend to service my equipment on those days as well. So I do all my own oil changes and stuff. A big one, like I've got them booked in at Christmas time because I'm going away. So the big service of the gearbox and that on the mowers I'll get done at the shop, but all the other stuff, I do my air filters all the time. I do the oil changes. So I give them a clean all the time. So I'll do that on the rainy days as well. But yeah, I think the rain is we definitely need it. And coming from a drought to that, like you could literally watch it go green overnight. And you know, it's crazy. Like now I've got to try and figure out how I'm going to mow my own lawn because I don't have time to do it. And it's going nuts at the moment too. So, but I'm not, like, I think we definitely need the rain, and I'm happy if it does rain.
So did you notice any difference to your calls when it did rain?
Oh yeah, definitely. I got a lot more inquiries. A lot of people text message here on the Gold Coast. I find not many people actually call. Like I got one last night at 8:30, and she sent me a photo and said, can you mow my backyard? You've been recommended by someone. And she said, sorry to text so late. And I said, yeah, no problem. Give me a call in the morning. I'll come out and give you a quote. And I've not heard back from her. So I don't know if she just wanted a quote from the photo and it was a terrible photo. So I learned in smash repairs, everyone wants quotes off photos, and it just doesn't work because there's so much that you miss out on. And then when you get there and you might go, oh, look, there's an extra half hour here, 3/4 of an hour there. They said, no, you've given me the quote. So I don't quote off photos.
And that's one of our keys for quoting, isn't it? We always do it face to face so you can check out the job.
Yeah, well, I remember a few people said, oh, you just Google Earth it. And I'm just like, yeah, but the photos are always distorted and, you know, you're looking from way above. You can't see how long that's you don't know how long that photo could be 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's been taken 4 years ago.
It
could be a shed in the backyard now.
Always go out.
Yeah, absolutely. So for you, Sam, What do you think about? Does the rain bother your business a lot? You're in a wetter area of Australia.
So I think I'm in a pretty sort of little unique situation with my patch of Mareeba Tolga. They're about 20, 25 kilometres apart.
Yep.
So on any given day when it's raining, you'd have to be pretty unlucky for the rain to be raining Mareeba and Tolga all
Oh,
together.
okay.
It's probably happened once.
Yep.
And I think you know the day, Justin, I sent you a photo.
Wait, was
What
that
I
the
was
one you're at
doing.
the distillery or the gelato shop?
No, I was in bed watching Netflix.
Oh, okay.
So if it's raining in Mareeba, I'll do all my Tolga jobs
Yep.
on that day.
Yep.
If I've got Mareeba Tolga, like a mix of jobs between the two locations. If it's raining cats and dogs in Tolga, I'll do all my Mareeba jobs as much
Yep.
as I can. So some customers would like their jobs done on a certain day. So
Yeah.
body's pretty flexible. I've set it up so that everybody can, like if they don't mind me coming the next day or the day after, 99% of them don't care as long as you turn up. So getting back to the rain, if that's how I work it. If it's raining in Mareeba, I'll do me Tolga jobs. If it's raining in Tolga, I'll do me Mareeba jobs. That way it's all done. It gets done.
Yeah. Yeah. I've
That's
like
funny.
we're both from North Queensland, and one of the concerns when I'm taking people through this information process up here is like in Cairns, we've had lawn and garden businesses for the last 13 years, and one of the concerns people have is what about the wet season? How do you work in the wet season? And yeah, it is, as you guys both know, it is a bit of a juggling game. But my question back, or statement back, as always, it's also those months are also the biggest income months in the
Yeah.
lawn and garden business because there's nothing like rain to make things grow.
No.
Yeah, that's
And
right. And you need the rain to make it grow. And when it's raining, if it's raining in the morning and you get up and it's misty and drizzly, I just look out on the back deck and see if Mareeba's,
yeah,
copping the rain, or you look on the bomb. And I've even set up a couple of customers. Hey, is it raining over there?
yeah,
It's raining cats and dogs and Tolga, but it's dry as a bone in Mareeba. So you just go.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so yeah.
yeah. Very good. Well, that's yeah what I wanted to run through today. I guess just in sort of wrapping up, how do you feel now that you're both sort of bit over a year in for you, Sam? How do you feel about the decision you made? Is it been
A no-brainer. Absolutely love it. Should have done it 20 years ago.
okay?
Um,
Well,
I
that's
wish I
great.
was. I wish I was 30 years old, not 52. But
Yeah,
it is what it is.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely the best decision Tania and I have made for us, for me, um, to purchase the James Home Services lawn and garden business. Yep.
that's fantastic. How about you, Steve? How do you feel? You've sort of just come out of the
Yeah.
toughest time.
Yeah, I could probably almost mimic Sam's words there, but yeah, really, really happy that I did it. It's easy to get up and go to work in the morning. Like it doesn't feel like work. It's because I don't know. I just get up and go, oh yeah, let's go. Have me a cup of tea and off I go. And there's a lot of joy for me in driving around, looking at the sites because I've been in an office for so long. So I'm just so glad that I did it. I'm in a different location, and now with the growth period, the money's going to be what my expectation would have been as well. So yeah, it's ticked all the boxes for me.
Fantastic. That's awesome. Well, thanks so much, both of you, and yeah, look forward to seeing you continue to grow your businesses as we go forward.